Hi there, it's Asia. For this video, I asked you to select the most difficult IELTS speaking Part 2 topic reported in recent exams and prepared a sample answer that would be awarded Band 9. We'll have a look at this answer, how your answers are assessed, and what vocabulary and grammar you could use to achieve a higher score. If you'd like to get more topics from recent exams, you can download our PDF guide on Telegram, linked in the video description. Okay, let's get started. Here is a topic. Describe a company where you live that employs a lot of people. You should say what it does, how many people it employs, what its employees do at work, and explain how you feel about this company. I fully agree that it's not an easy one to talk about for 2 minutes. To give you some ideas, I've selected a business that most people have around, a supermarket. And I'll show you a trick that can help you talk for longer. Here is my answer. Basically, I live in a suburban area of London, which is quite residential. This means that we don't really have any big offices or manufacturing in the vicinity. I guess the largest employer in the area is a hypermarket, Tesco. It's called a hypermarket rather than a supermarket because it's open 24/7 and it's really huge. It sells all kinds of things from food to clothing, domestic goods, and even some electronics. Whatever one may dream of finding in a supermarket, Tesco will have. Frankly speaking, I don't know how many people work there, but I suppose several hundred. There are employees who work in the warehouse, those who put goods on shelves, cashiers, security, and those who manage the store after all. It takes a lot of people to serve all of their customers. Once I came back from holiday on a Sunday evening. In the UK, most stores close at 5 p.m. on Sunday to ensure that their employees have time with their families. Therefore, all local stores were already closed and I had to drive to this hypermarket. When I arrived, I was amazed at how busy it was. There were tons of cars in the car park and at least 20 checkout tills working all at the same time. No doubt, this supermarket is a big machine that requires a large staff and continuously recruits new people. I personally find that shopping there is not my cup of tea. I prefer buying my groceries in a small family-run store across the road or ordering a home delivery for heavy items. But some of our neighbors go there regularly. That was my answer. Although I covered all the bullet points, if I only followed them and added no extra information, my answer would be just over 1 minute. This is not a good thing for your score because it doesn't show your fluency. And it gives you less time to demonstrate your vocabulary and grammar. What I did to extend my answer is I added a story of how I went to this supermarket. When you're telling a story, it's much easier to talk at length. Actually, finding what to talk about is one of the main difficulties in Part 2. What if you live in an area where there is no company with a lot of employees? Or what if you get asked about attending a sporting event and you've never been to one? Then you have 2 choices. The first one is to invent a story. Think about your friends' stories or movies for inspiration. An alternative is to give a 2-minute answer explaining why there are no companies with a lot of employees where you live, or why you've never been to a sporting event. Explain why not. Now, let's have a look at some useful phrases and grammatical structures for your answers. You should use less common vocabulary and complex grammar for a higher score. Here is what I used in this answer. A suburban area. When you live on the outskirts of a town, not in the center. Which? This is a great word because it allows you to add extra information to your sentence and get extra points for your grammar. My dog, which is 13 years old, still jumps like a puppy. The beauty of which is that you can use it in any sentence. Of course, don't forget to use who when talking about people or dogs who you love just as much. Yes, for pets, you can use either which or who, it's entirely up to you. In the vicinity means nearby. Rather than, you can use it to say instead of something. A hypermarket rather than a supermarket. I prefer a cup of coffee rather than tea. Open 24/7. This means that it's always open. Just say 24/7. One. This is a way to say one person. One may find this video useful. Frankly speaking, this is a linker or discourse marker that shows the listener what I'm talking about. You need to use them to make your answers easy to follow. Examiners specifically check for that. Once. Again, this is a linker that shows that I'm about to tell a story. Another advantage of telling a story is that I could use the past tense there, while the rest of my answer was in the present. Therefore, this is how you can introduce your result. When I arrived, I was amazed. This is a complex sentence. Try to use when, because, where in your answers. All these conjunctions are used in complex sentences. Working at the same time. This is a participle phrase. Again, this is complex grammar. No doubt. That's another linker. Continuously. It means all the time, without interruption. Not my cup of tea. This is an idiom used to say that I don't like something. An evening at the opera isn't everyone's cup of tea. In IELTS speaking, it's great to use idioms, just make sure they sound natural. Family-run store. If something is family-run, it's usually small and owned by a family, not by a big company. And finally, across the road, very close. The complexity of vocabulary and grammar in this answer is sufficient for a Band 9 score. You don't have to use some fancy words or extremely complex grammar. And there are no mistakes here. Apart from your vocabulary and grammar, which determine 50% of your score, examiners assess your fluency and cohesion and pronunciation. To get a high score for your fluency, you should speak naturally, without visible effort. It doesn't mean that you have to speak fast. You can make pauses as long as you're pausing to think about what you want to say. Cohesion is how you link ideas to make your answers easy to understand. A part of a high score for your cohesion is using linking words or discourse markers. And finally, pronunciation. This is not your accent. This is if you pronounce sounds and words correctly, your rhythm and intonation. I have a video where you can repeat answers after my native speaking friend Alex and improve your pronunciation. And don't forget to download our guide with recent IELTS writing and speaking topics on Telegram, linked below. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!